dank sound. What is that? It is over here. What a dank sound. What is that? It is over here.
Get that going. Um, Realized I was on mute there for a second. So happy Saturday, everybody. My name is Patrick, aka the Bricksmith. Started this channel so that could grow a community of parents and kids and build Legos together, or watch me build Legos. And it's been a passion of mine for the last few years as I've had kids and gotten into it where I wasn't into it as a kid. So today's set's going to be the Lego Barad-Dur set for Lord of the Rings. I've had it sitting around for a couple months and decided to finally build this bad boy. So I'm going to whip it out real quick. Big old box. Got a grab of the minifigs that come in the box. I've bought a ton of Legos in the last couple years, and I know they've been switching the packaging to those paper bags, and I see them on all the time online, but never actually gotten them myself. Nice little battery warning in case you got little kids. I know a lot of people like to dump these out, but if I'm being honest, I like to organize them as I'm going. That way I'm not scrambling to sort all this stuff in the end. Thank you, Charlotte. Every now and then we may have a guest visitor in here, one of my kids or dogs, wife. So a little bit about me. I got 3 kids, ages 1, 3, and 5. And they are a handful, as you can imagine. But my wife my wife and daughter are actually building a Lego set right now. One of the Disney Friends sets that comes with the princesses. So let's go in faster. Box within a box. Wouldn't you know it, I buried my knife. There it is. Always gotta keep all these. So I do not use the paper versions of the instructions because I find it much easier to do them online, whether that's through my tablet or any sort of those things. Right now I'm going to be using my MacBook for it. So now we got a big old pile of bags to get through. I've always found it odd that you get some of the lower numbered bags on the top, and then somehow you still end up. It's kind of a mixed bag between the 2 boxes. It's got to be the way they come off the production line, I'm guessing. There you can hear the kids, special guests. It's nap time around here. I'm sure it's nap time for a lot of people. It's one of those things where as a kid you hated nap time, and now as an adult it seems like you can never get a nice nap in, at least around this house. My son is actively protesting nap time, if you can hear it. It's like Mahatma Gandhi. What's up, Chase? No, I don't want to go to nap time. So we were in the Lego store yesterday, and my son really wanted to get the McLaren F1 car that they released not too long ago. I think it's like 4,000 some pieces. However, if we put that in his room, it would be crazy town. Sounds like my daughter is actively protesting nap as well. We're not gonna take it. Missing a button. 17, 18. Six, 5. No good. The crying is real. So have you seen any of my TikToks? I do a lot of, kind of try to do builds and memes on a rotational basis. Most of my memes revolve around my children in my Lego room that you can see behind me. And how fun that is to try and keep them out of there, especially the 1 and 1.5-year-old. We are almost done sorting bags. Let's go ahead and open these instructions up, see what we're looking at. So we got this first book. It is hefty. 279 pages. Got some stickers here. Doesn't look like too many. See how that goes. So this set comes with 3 instruction booklets. It looks like the first one is the thickest at 279, and then 115, and then 215. So like I said, I like to use the electronic instructions. It's just much cleaner for me. It keeps my workspace a little bit cleaner. Put those down there. Corrugated dust. We'll do this. So in a lot of these like licensed sets, they like to put stories inside the instruction manuals. So I'll try and go through those as best I can. So when you open it up, you get a shot of Barad-Dur with the Eye of Sauron, the little quote from Frodo Baggins, and then it gives you, in 3 different languages, kind of a rundown of what Barad-Dur is. Then you get a little how they designed it, right? And then the senior model designer next to it. Get a little bit of overview of the first book that you're going to be building, the base. Then an overview of some of the features inside of it, which we can go over once it's fully built. Probably not today, another day, but and then the minifigs in box or the first booklet of instructions. So we got Gollum, Frodo Baggins, Samwise Gamgee, and then 2 orcs. There's random orcs. So. All right. Always try to dump the smaller bags inside the bigger bags, kind of separated. Typically, it's easier to find those pieces if you keep them apart from each other. All right, so the first thing we're building is Frodo. And get our little brick tool out of the way. I have about 1,000 of those at this point. We'll give them a happy face. They always like to try and give you like 2 versions of it. And what's the best way of doing this? So you can get happy or absolutely terrified that I'm stuck around a giant volcano that could erupt at any moment. We'll go with happy though. There's no reason to. It's a happy day. It's Saturday. So Frodo comes with a little ring. The 1 ring. There you go. Pretty cool. Put him off to the side. Now it's time to build. Thank you to that one viewer out there. It's going to boost my confidence through this live stream. Really appreciate that. Let's play a little bit of. Hi, Michelle. It's going good. Thanks for joining the live stream. You a big Lego fan? Or are you a big Lord of the Rings fan? Or maybe both? Both. Nice. Who's your favorite character in Lord of the Rings? Pippin. Nice. You got into a lot of trouble. Dude was always stirring up stuff, making Gandalf hair grayer than it needed to be. He was Gandalf the Gray when the movie started, and he ended up being Gandalf the White because of Pippin. That dude was always like super jacked up about second breakfast. You build any fun Lego sets lately? Nice. My wife actually built that. You can see it in the very bottom left corner of my video feed. Built that with my daughter. Loved it. Disney's really upped its game with some of these sets that they've released lately. So here's another. Frodo looking super excited on this side of Mount Doom, almost like he's enjoying himself with the ring. Don't know if that's actually how it went down, but we'll pretend it is. Do you have kids that like Legos? Is that better? Nice. Duplo Legos. Disney's got a lot of Duplo Legos. They're good for small kids. But it's like a fine age. It's like thread and a needle. You buy them and then they're too old for them. What Legos does your daughter like to build? Nice. I take it you're a Disney family. We certainly are. You almost have to be with small kids. If you're not, then you're probably one busy parent trying to keep your kids occupied. Disney's good at entertaining your children. It was like funny story is I told my mom about this, that I was starting this channel. Told her to join the live stream. She must be out grocery shopping or doing something more important than supporting her middle-aged son and his Lego channel. Elbow cough. Can probably hear my daughter giggling in the background. She apparently did not go to nap, which is not abnormal. And now the world knows that Charlotte likes quesadillas. Oh, we got 3 people on the stream. Those are some rookie numbers. We got to pump that up. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the compliment on my setup, Michelle. Got to pay more attention. How many kids do you have, Michelle? On to bag 2. 3 children, just like me. Small world. What ages? The struggle is real for any parents out there. They'll keep you up at night, literally and figuratively. We got another minifig to build here. All right. We got Samwise Gamgee. Gave him a little more serious face than Frodo because that dude was way too serious throughout the entire trilogy. So your daughter's 5, Michelle, so I'm guessing she started school recently. How's that going? Same. Kindergarten's one of those things where it's not really school yet. They're learning, but they're just learning to be social too. My son just started playing baseball. That has been exciting to watch. He is only 3. I don't remember starting that young. And it is exactly how you would imagine it. A lot of standing in a circle playing with dirt while another kid struggles to hit the ball. And then when they hit it, they run at each other instead of towards a base. But it makes for good laughs. out, Andrew. That will happen. 2-year-olds, man, they're just trying to figure life out. They're swinging arms, hitting all sorts of people in places they shouldn't be. They don't know any better. You got any Legos for your kid, Andrew? Nice. Which Legos you got for your son? Dude, two's a fun age. A lot of people say terrible twos. I would disagree. I would say terrible threes and fours and fives. No, I'm kidding. I think some of it's just because they're all frustrated because they want to do things that they can't do yet. For his age group, though, Duplos are fun. My son's got some Disney Duplos that he loves to play with, and they're still relatively cheap. Dang. German Shepherd. Yeah. See, my dogs, I have 3 dogs, 3 Boston Terriers. One that's 1. The other 2 are 7 years old. And 2 of them, well, one of them won't chew on anything. But if you leave the female unsupervised, she will eat. She's literally eating glass. So we have gates in this house in certain rooms to prevent her from chewing up Legos. She actually chewed up some of the minifigures. I built the Disney castles for my daughter and she ate them. I won't even say chewed. She probably swallowed them whole. That's just kind of dog she is. It's hard to be mad at her, too, because when you look at her, she looks so dumb when she's looking back at you. Sweet, not dumb. Sweet. Or both. What kind of Duplos does he have? Like the Duplo city ones with like emergency vehicles or something like that? Hey D James, welcome to the live stream. Building the Lord of the Rings Lego Barad-Dur set for all you nerds out there that have seen the movies and know them like I do. Otherwise, it's just the big tower with the eye on it, just for those of you who want. Yeah, I did see that. Isn't that wild? I guess like the question really becomes like, why did you wait 26 years to have that taken care of? And I think he manually did it, right? Like he unlodged it himself. Like, go seek medical attention. I saw the article say he's breathing much better now, and it's like, bro, just go go get that looked at. Like, why would you go 26 years without having the ability to breathe right? Oh, okay. Yeah, those tables are cool. It gives them kind of a path to play with them. Because otherwise, they end up just throwing them around, not knowing what to do with the Legos, even though they're bigger. So your son has Duplos. Have you built Legos before? Or do you just enjoy him feeding them to the dog? I know it's. Uh, I can't even imagine having a Lego in my nose for 26 years. That's insanity. Then again, I don't go to the doctor, so who am I to talk? Well, if you haven't been playing with Legos and you've got a kid, it's therapeutic. Did it really? Over that comment? What'd the censor police say? Yeah. I could imagine 2 boys. I got 1 boy. Keeping him busy is difficult. But when you give him stuff like this, he stays occupied and out of your hair for a little bit. Till he needs help. Every 5 seconds. And realizes he can continually ask you for help. And then you just end up doing it for him. Problem with a lot of Lego sets nowadays is that they cost what I imagine a kidney would cost on the black market. That Java's sale barge that they announced the other day. It's only like 3,900 pieces and it's $500, which is just wild. Legoflation is real. Did that. That's the way to do it. Don't help them. Throw them into a room. Tell them they have to create something and you'll let them out. That's how the strong survive. Pretty sure that's how they figured out how to build Rome. And then if the $500 wasn't enough, they're like, oh, we'll give you this 150 piece lightsaber set. That'll make it all better. It's like, man, need more than a lightsaber set to make this better. But if you do have rewards points, if you're not a Lego insider, I highly recommend signing up for it. You can save a lot of cash in the long run. And if you're a Disney fan, Michelle, if you're an annual pass holder, you can save 10% at the Lego store by buying them there. Fun fact. Yeah, so I'm from Chicago originally, and man, I have not been team Caleb Williams at all from inception. Like, I think that was a bad draft choice. Wasn't a fan of Justin Fields, but we essentially drafted Justin Fields without experience because Justin Fields already had 3 years in him. And one of my buddies is like super high on him. And I was giving him a lot of grief about it in the off season. And I told him, like, this is just the cycle repeating itself. I'm almost 40 years old, and my entire existence, the Bears have been an awful football team. And it goes in cycles where they get a quarterback, the entire city is like super jacked, like beyond excited, like too excited that we got a quarterback that supposedly can play quarterback. And then they do terrible. They do absolutely terrible. And there's like a sequence of events. It goes to, well, the team isn't good around him. Right, which in this case is a complete garbage excuse. Like, the offensive line's not great at all, but the rest of the team around Caleb Williams is much better than it was around Justin Fields. So you go and blame the team, you blame the GM a little bit, and then the second year it becomes, well, it's the head coach. The coaching is terrible. We need to get new coaches around him. Okay, well, now you go find a new coach, and then finally in year 3 or 4, and at least in my experience with the Bears, it's like, oh, it is him. The quarterback's the problem. And then you start the cycle all over again. And I've just grown tired of it. He plays awful. Caleb Williams is not a great quarterback. He plays like he's playing in the Pac-10. No, God. That dude, I've never, like, that first regular season game where he scrambled backwards for a 20-yard loss was insanity. That dude this is the same issue we had with Justin Fields, right? Like, where he scrambles, but he doesn't scramble in any good direction. He just scrambles, and unfortunately, scrambles backwards and takes a giant sack for a loss. And then it's like, oh, well, it's the offensive line. The dude had the ball for a solid 7 to 8 seconds. Like, how much more time do you need to throw a football? But it's the offensive line's fault, at least. Rex Grossman, man. You know what? Lovie Smith got the short end of the stick. He wasn't great at all. He wasn't going to win a Super Bowl. But the one thing I liked about Lovie Smith was he was so honest in his assessment of how the team played in a press conference. And one of my all-time favorite Lovie Smith moments was when the Bears lost horribly, as they do, if you remember. And he got at the podium and he literally said, "We did not play good football today." Obviously, we all know that, but he at least admitted it. You got Mark Eberflus coming up to the podium talking about God knows what, nothing football related, or in at least the realm of reality. The guy's lost. Just because he got a new haircut and a leather jacket doesn't make him a good football coach. And Rex Grossman wasn't terrible forever. At least we got to the damn Super Bowl. That'll probably be the last time in my lifetime, though. So, huzzah. But I've just come to it's like, if you resign to the fact that the team is terrible, you won't be upset. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. Jay Cutler too. He was a good one. He was a guy that we held on to forever. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't gonna ever win a Super Bowl though. I could literally complain about the Bears forever. And most of my squabbles of recent is just how stupid Chicago fans are for actually believing that somehow Caleb Williams. The other problem I got with Caleb Williams, and thanks for bringing this up because now I'm going to be going forever on it, is the ego factor. The dude's ego is insane. I mean, some of the asks that his team had put out prior to actually, which another thing, he delayed the signing of his rookie contract till the literal last minute because he was trying to swindle the Bears into giving him part ownership in the team, and he wanted to be paid through an LLC so that it could be a tax-free type payment, and then that didn't work, and then he wanted to do a tax-free loan. Oh, Dak. I feel like Dak is a good quarterback, and the problem he has is all in his head when he gets to the playoffs. The biggest, I mean, I don't know. If you're the Cowboys though, like where do you go? Like you're not. There's nothing better out there, right? The other problem is the NFL's just got such a shortage of talent in the quarterback level, and I think some of the Cowboys' issues are not just Dak Prescott. He's not great. He's not going to be like win a multiple Super Bowls kind of guy, but you almost feel bad for him sometimes because he plays so damn well in the regular season, and then he doesn't perform very well in the playoffs. Face orange, raised eyebrow. Is that the name of that emoji? What does that look like? Oh, that's good. But back to the Caleb Williams thing. He tried to swindle the Bear. He came in with this attitude. When you refer to yourself as like the Michael Jordan of football, there's no humility. The NFL is not college. And he's finding that out. And the other day, just to reaffirm my point, the other day he was being asked questions by a reporter. And the reporter asked him, like, hey, after the first 2 games of the season, obviously he's not playing well. Is he realizing some of the mistakes he made is maybe like his game has to change in the NFL to adapt to it? And some of the things that he did really well in college aren't really going to work. So he asked him, like, have you learned anything? And he goes, literally, no. Who says that? Like, you've been brutally beaten in 2. Okay, they won the first game. The defense won the first game, but offensively brutally beaten over and over. There you go, Jim McMahon. But that, again, you're throwing it back 40 years. It's insane. And the city gets so excited every time they get a new quarterback. It's exhausting, Chicago sports have definitely, we had a good heyday with the Bulls in the 90s. That's honestly, what a time to be alive. Then we had the Blackhawks in the late 2000s, early 2010s. But everything else is a crapshoot. that's a little better. I'm not making fun of uh, our childhood. Like I'm saying, like maybe we just peaked as Chicago sports fans. We should just be happy with what we got. And you know, I don't think it. The other issue with the Bears is that the ownership. Like I think at some point after 40 years of tearing through head coaches and GMs and players, like maybe it's the ownership. Maybe. But they're never giving that team up. You got better luck prying a snack out of your child's hands before you can get the Bears to sell their team. And then they're like, "Oh, we want to move. We're gonna move." The the White Sox this year are so awful. They literally can't. The other thing is like you're in it to make money, right? So if your team's that bad and you're drawing an attendance of like -5 people, you're not generating revenue, and they are awful. Worst team in baseball history. It's also just the stadium is for people that don't know Chicago, the stadium's not in the best part of Chicago. I mean, it's hard to say what's the best part of Chicago anymore, but it never has been a good part. And it's that state they opened that stadium when I was a kid, and at the time it was okay, but now it's what do you do with the team? I feel like you almost got to move the team again. They got to start looking outside of the city, though. That's the issue. Turning. What's abhorrent about what I said? Nothing I said is untrue. Yeah, exactly. 17 people. Like, could you imagine paying for a ticket and showing up and being one of 17 people that were also stupid enough to pay for that ticket? I mean, wild, right? Like, there's nothing enjoyable. Like, going in, the team is going to just not play well at all. And there, you can't even argue you're going for a good time because the cost of food at a game and even a beer is insane now. So it's like you're paying to go watch your team supposedly go absolutely lose without question, and then now you're going to pay a bunch of money for food you could get elsewhere for cheaper. It makes no sense. $17 people. My God. So what you're saying is this first live stream of mine as I try to build a community is had a larger crowd than the White Sox. That's great. Makes me feel better. Thank you, even if that wasn't your intention. There was literally 2 employees to every 1 person in the game. And it probably wasn't great. knowing, having been to that stadium, there's no way the customer service was good. No way. Absolutely not. It's one of those places where you like don't want to take your kids because of the surrounding area. And that pretty much sums up most of the only stadium that I feel like in Chicago that's probably safe, I mean, to take your kids all the time is Soldier Field. And that's because it's so close to the actual downtown area. You don't want to catch a train to Wrigleyville because of the things that happen on the red line. And then the parking situation in Wrigleyville is terrible because there is none. And the people that rent out their driveways make hundreds of dollars a day when there's games, just like leasing out or renting out their driveway so you can park there. Yeah, and the Cubs are historically terrible. I mean, shockingly won a World Series in my lifetime. But Wrigleyville is also like a historical landmark, and there's just something about going there and seeing a game. You don't get that at whatever it's called, Guaranteed Rate Field now, or whatever. That's the other thing is like the White Sox just feel like such a commercially run organization. They don't actually care. And that's probably why you won 17 games this year, or whatever it is, 20 games. But even like the United Center is not great. Like if you, it depends on the time. I mean, you could say time of day. It's just like, man, you'd like to be able to take your kid to a sporting event without having to deal with all the homelessness and crime. Sound effects brought to you by my daughter in the other room. And football tickets, if we want to stay on sports, football ticket prices are insane. I mean, it already costs, if you want to see every game at home, and if you live out of market, you just want to catch your team's games, it costs like $800+ a year now just to get every game that you would need to satisfy that. And I mean, between the streaming services and then once Netflix gets its hands on some of this stuff, it's going to be even worse. But even here, like Tampa Bay Buccaneers tickets, and mind you, Tom Brady is not playing for them anymore, are still $400 or $500. And I'm not talking about like VIP tickets. I'm talking about just in the stands somewhere. It's a scam, is what it is. United Center parking attendants are real MVPs. You mean the real parking attendants, or the guys that are out in those lots, like renting out spaces that may or may not actually be theirs, and then deucing out after the game starts, and then hoping your car didn't get towed because you were illegally parked in someone else's parking lot. Wild times. Chat needs to wake up. Oh man, we lost a viewer. This is the chat right now. Crickets. For people that have not tried to park, and then the only place I can think of that's worse is New York. At a Chicago sporting event, and like don't believe when people tell them they probably need to just take the train or a cab or something like closer to not drive your car. That first time is like eye opening. You're like, no, I got it. I'll just pay the park. It's all the other stuff besides the parking. To your point, like the real ones holding spots at the front of the parking lot. Bears games are even worse, man. Dude, Diddy. My man, like when he initially had his house raided, right? You're just like, you kind of felt like something made because like, oh, why didn't they arrest him? Oh, this is kind of crazy, whatever. But then when they put the cuffs on him, currently like a couple days ago, after months of this like investigation, and then they got in front of like the attorney general got in front of the camera and started describing some of the things that they found in the house, and then also like what the crimes he was being accused of were. I mean, he was selling people. I mean, he had pallets of baby oil. Like, there's no good. Like, what do you say to that when you get in front of a judge? They found pallets of baby oil and a lubricant in his house, and it's like, nah, man. There's no. And then he was making people do things for days on end by drugging them. Found tons of drugs in his house, like GHB or the date rape drug, and it's like, man, this dude is not getting out of prison. And then they denied him bail. He's on suicide watch. There are going to be a bunch of these alarms going off when he's found like Epstein was. Because I heard he's recorded a lot of that stuff too, which is even crazier. This is like rich people, man. They don't know what to do with their money. They should just live out their days happy with what they got, not selling human beings. And buying pallets of, 1,000. I know, that's why I said a pallet, like 1,000 bottles. At that point, why not buy it in bulk? Like, why are you buying it by individual bottles? It's almost like he was making, gift bags for people and throwing bottles in there for his parties. It's like, what a creep, man. And then that video came out after they raided his house where he like literally was beating this woman in a hotel. Just like, I don't know how he survived, like publicly survived that from a perception perspective. Like everybody just kind of went on about their business. And now that he's being accused of selling people, now it's like, oh my God. Good to know that the threshold is slavery for a lot of society. The Diddler. Yeah, I saw that. That's good. Well, the problem is, I think maybe I'm being a little too harsh because it's like the biggest issue with society right now is that we all jump to conclusions when we see stuff on the news and take it for fact. Like, I think one of the more serious things I saw recently, and however you feel about it, was that Dr. Disrespect stuff that was going on. And, the dude got dragged through the mud. Nobody saw anything. Comes back after taking a month off and totally lights up Twitch and tells them that some of the stuff they leaked is untrue. They settled with them. There's been no investigation from a legal standpoint. So it's like, this cancel culture stuff is sometimes you got to do your own research and look for evidence, not somebody tweeting stuff. I don't think Christian Bale would ever come back for Batman, on a side note. He's done with that role. You a Lord of the Rings fan, Andrew? Oh, 100%. That was not the point I'm making. This hobbit size loves rings. You watching Rings of Power? I've personally been watching it. It's been okay. There's good parts and there's like parts where I'm like frustrated that they took liberty, but I guess that's just how it is. But this season has been really good in my opinion. No matter how I feel about Gandalf. And whether or not he should be in the show. Si, senor. I do like that they brought Tom Bombadil in because I don't think he got any justice in the Peter Jackson movies at all. But I'm not gonna Grandel. You know, when I was watching it, it's funny, man, I don't remember that part where they referred to him as Grandel. But I ended up going back and looking at that. I hope to God, I hope that is not how they're spinning this. I hope they don't think that's how he got his name. It's so beyond obvious too that it's Gandalf. It's almost like just use the name. So then we got Smeagol, Gollum. It's a little disappointing. It kind of already comes assembled, and then you just put a couple pieces on there. I wish there was more to that minifig than that. But I digress. There's a lot of moments in the show. Like I said, I like it. There are a lot of moments where there's like certain things are steered into your head because it's almost like, what are they doing here? The best part of the show, hands down, is Sauron. The guy playing Sauron is killing it. Like, they couldn't have cast a better dude for it. I think they've significantly diminished Galadriel's character from the Lord of the Rings movies. Just because the more she talks and gets into trouble, it's annoying. And the other fun thing about it is like, Elrond has spent his entire life telling people to destroy these rings. Like, how bad can you feel for a guy? he like I mean, how many hundreds of years this dude spent telling people that these rings need to be destroyed? That's why when the Lord of the Rings rolls around, he's all like, I was there, Gandalf. Nah, this isn't my fight. He's like, I've been down this road before. The other thing too is a lot of the lore is out there, obviously. So when they take creative liberties with things, they're always going to be a little upset with stuff. But the whole like alluding to the Balrog in Khazad-dûm is like that thing shouldn't even be up yet. Like it shouldn't be woken up. It's not time yet. You know what I mean? This is a second age. It's just some of these things don't make sense. Same thing with Gandalf. Gandalf shouldn't be there. And I know, my brother and I were talking about this. Is it a dark wizard or is it a witch? Is it, out in Rune? And they confirmed it's a dark wizard. Well, like, unless it's Saruman who ends up like having like some spell on him and all of a sudden he's a good guy again, like this doesn't make sense, like to what Tolkien wrote, right? And then there's people that are like, oh, who cares? Like, I'm telling you, the show's not bad. I just think there's unnecessary changes that they made in the show. You got to feel bad for Elrond, man. Like the dude, I mean, how many hundreds of years do you need to waste of your life telling people to destroy some rings? And then the other times you're not telling people, you're spent fighting because they didn't destroy them, right? He should have sailed west way before the end of Return of the King. Like I would have been out. Peace. I'm not following your comment with that last one. And it's only like a matter of time before. Because, this is like the start of it, right? They do this Rings of Power series, and then there's a call for more Lord of the Rings material, which is fine. But, it's just odd. I gotta pay more attention here. Oh, 100%. That dude is just like emoing around Middle Earth right now. I get he wants the rings destroyed, but it's like, that's what I'm saying. He spent his whole life. They should have just made him go west. And that's the other thing. If we go back to the first season, she like straight jumped off this boat in the middle of the ocean, and she didn't find it at all weird that this like mysterious dude found her. She was just like, "Yay, I'm saved." No. Yet she's supposed to be like a powerful, wise elf. Like, give me a break. Ain't no wisdom there. And then she's like one of the first people to jump at putting on this ring. Just like didn't make a lot of sense. Dude, I would challenge you to put this together. And probably you're my daughter singing in the background. It's all strategy. I just want to see if maybe a random recording producer could join and hear the lovely humming going on and big record deal and retire. Fingers crossed. I'm not stopping her. Hey, Charlotte, did you finish your Lego? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. It's all right. It's a lot of Lego. Three bags. Okay. Take your time. Legoflation. Thanks, Charlotte. You want to come take a look at it?
Oh my god, that's a lot of Lego pieces.
Yeah.
You're gonna build the whole thing.
Huh?
I'm building my whole thing.
You think you'll be done before me?
It's getting done almost. It's almost done. I got it
Okay.
done. Because I did a small this morning.
Gotcha.
Some of my Legos fall apart upstairs.
No, they didn't fall apart, Charlotte. You broke them apart. Yeah, well, I gotta fix them after I spent all that time putting them together. You heard it first, folks. It is my job to fix the Legos in her room that she broke. After I spent a ton of time putting them together. That's okay. Love when the pieces blend together in terms of the color.
I'm on number 2 bag.
You're on the second bag? Nice.
I'm on number 2.
We're going to try and steer clear of the political commentary on this channel. This is a Lego. We can talk Chicago sports, Legos, any other fun life stuff, but politics. Lego's supposed to be relaxing. For those of you that just got on, the noise in the background is my daughter's building a Sleeping Beauty Lego set, one of the Friends sets. And I'm building Lord of the Rings Barad-Dur. She will beat me. She's 5 years old, doing a great job. But I think I'm supposed to stop what I'm doing and fix their Disney Legos in her room that she broke. Oh, Caleb Williams? Yeah, 100%. It's because he wants to be the guy. He doesn't want to be on it. He doesn't want the team to win. He wants the win. Dude, Shohei Otani, that guy's a beast. Remember that whole maybe do, maybe don't? It was pretty public when they thought his like accountant was being all sketchy with his money, and he was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." They were ready to pin him on that stuff, and he was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait a minute." That's a real generational talent. Shohei Otani, not Caleb Williams, in my opinion. Shohei's fun to watch. I am not even remotely a Dodgers fan, but enjoy watching him play baseball. Yeah, that's what it was. It was this translator. Wild. Absolutely wild. Didn't that guy end up dipping out too? He like left the country, didn't he? Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember. It's like take your pick on which nefarious rich person type thing is happening this week. It's hard to keep up with a lot of it. The Palantir. That's crazy. I like, couldn't imagine that. He like really trusted that dude too. I'm going to go ahead and take a break for probably a 5 minutes, and I'll be right back. Appreciate everybody that's watching.
Feels like it's crumbling now. Just know that I'll be around. I'll always be there to catch you when you're falling. I know that you've been feeling down every time that you call out. Girl, I will be there every time you need me. And you know we gotta be together, 'cause we are designed to be forever. And we are refined to say we'll never fall apart. Lean on me, I would always be there. Lean on me through your darkest nightmare. Lean on me, I would always be on time for you. You mean the world to me. You're everything that I can see. You're everything that I can feel. You are my dreams. And you know we gotta be together, 'cause we are designed to be forever. And we are refined to say we'll never fall apart. Lean on me, I would always be there. Lean on me through your darkest nightmare. Lean on me, I would always be on time for you. Lean on me, I will be your hero. Lean on me, whether I'm near or far. Lean on me, I would always win the fight for I remember seeing you last fall. It was hard to recognize you at all. It took away the art of talking touch. I know you think that I'm ready more. Now that I won't let it, I should be lost. But the breaking news wasn't that we're over. Said we finally took the mask off. My mommy told me that we shouldn't worry. Daddy told me just a good story. He said to move on and keep going. Imagine we had one more life, one more shot at sunrise. Erase everything, start with new eyes. Don't break the same tragic goodbyes. Wanna dance things start with new Coffee cup on my nightstand. Not to reminisce, just a reminder to never go back to the life we shared. Anytime I'm feeling the urge to look at a picture, oh, I get so confused. 'Cause I swear I am so over you. My mommy told me that we shouldn't worry. Daddy told me just a good story. He said to move on and keep going. Imagine we had one more life, one more shot at sunrise. Erase everything, start with new eyes. No one break the same tragic goodbyes. What if this one?
I'm gonna.
Baby, would you meet me on this one last I've let myself down before. I wasted 8 lives on our love, but baby, I think this might be the one. Oh.
You look to the sun, but you got nothing left to give. You feel you're on the run. It seems you don't know how to live. And when we lose our way, we all deserve to find belief. 'Cause we're on top of the world. Our lives in front of you and me. You look to the sun, but you got nothing inside. You should be bursting at the seams. You feel you're on the run, but you got nowhere to hide. You don't remember how to dream. And when you've lost your way, feel like you're in a trap. We all deserve to find our peace. We are on top of the world, so don't you ever look back. Our life's in front of you and me. We are on top of the world. We are on top of the world. 'Cause we are on top of the world.
Show me where we began back in 95, where our love grew strong through a friendship that won't die. Show me where we created our greatest plans on the field of battle, in the childish minds we had. This is all we have. This is all we know. A friendship forever love that will ever grow. This is all we have. This is all we know. A friendship forever love that will ever grow. Was it here where you first kissed me on the cheek? Where you held my hand and said you'd always be here for me? Was it here where we sailed the 7 seas? And we flew the fighter jet planes and scored at Wembley. This is all we have. This is all we know. A friendship forever love that will ever grow. This is all we have. This is all we know. A friendship forever love that will ever grow.
Day turns into night, and the order of the world fades in your eyes. But you make my worries go. You talk to me. You promise simple memories, and the pain in those eyes. I'm on a railroad. I'm on a road, feeling so habitual. It's alright. It's alright.
All right, we're back. Some music may actually help. What brings you great angst and uneasiness, Andrew? the instructions being on a tablet or a computer. They also, so if you download the Lego app, Lego Builder app on like a phone or a tablet, what you can do, what they've started to do anyway, is they've done 3D directions. So you can actually move the like the step that you're in, you can move the model around and see exactly where it's placed. Because I'm not knocking the paper or even like the, let's say, digital version of the paper instructions, but the 3D one helps because sometimes if you've put Lego sets together, you look at an image, like a still image that they've put there, and you're like not exactly sure where that piece goes because they're showing you a piece that's on the opposite side of something, and you're guessing sometimes and hoping it's right. And in the 3D version, you can move it and you can see exactly where it's placed, or you can zoom in and zoom out, which is really nice. They don't do that on everything. This one I didn't check if they did, but a lot of the newer ones have that 3D capability, which is really nice. And they've added a feature recently where you can do like a group build. So if you know somebody else that's building it, you can do it together, which is nice. Especially with like kids, if you're doing a build with kids, it would be nice to be able to follow along with them and things like that. Bound us together in silence. Almost like the One Ring bound Middle Earth together. One instruction booklet to rule them all. We also started going live on TikTok a few moments ago. My wife is going to be monitoring that channel for the chat because I can't see the camera, because TikTok requires you to have like 10,000 followers on YouTube before you can stream from your PC, which is an interesting requirement, and we're not quite there yet. What's the biggest Lego set you've put together, Andrew? Man, this music is... Nice. Those Technic cars are cool. I think I said earlier, my son really wants that McLaren F1 car that they've got. It's about 4,000 pieces. He is a little small to put it together himself by probably about 10 years. But I told him I would look at getting it for him in the near future and put it together for him so we could hang it on the wall in his room, high above where he can reach, because I'm sure he will take it off the wall the first chance he gets. Good grief. We were just at the Lego store yesterday. I think it's $450. But it's huge. It's a big one. I'm sure my brother would love that. It's just funny how like the Technic sets have like morphed in the last 2 decades. I remember when Technic was kind of like almost their version of Connects, if people remember that. Now they're building cars out of them, and there's a cool like crane that you can buy. Like it works like an actual crane, not like a. It's obviously not real size, but for its scale size, it can lift a decent amount of weight, which is pretty neat. The crane? Is that what you're talking about? D. James? The crane's ridiculous. It's like $600. Like, it's cool, but for a kid, I wouldn't buy it for a kid. They would destroy it. It's pretty cool. If you haven't seen it, Google it. And when I say it's a crane, it's a lot of pieces, and I think they also make like a bulldozer. No, the McLaren, it's $450. Also huge. It's probably about, I don't know, that big, about that wide. It's big. My son wouldn't stop talking about it yesterday at the Lego store. He kept dragging me back over there. But he had already gotten a Spider-Man hoodie from the World of Disney store. And it was not a $450 hoodie. That's the other piece of it. I will say I think the McLaren is a much better value for your money than that Ultimate Collector Series Jabba's sail barge that's coming out, which ultimately I will buy because it fits in with a lot of my collection, because I do a lot of Star Wars Legos, but it is not a good value. He wishes it would cost me $1,100 for Christmas gifts. I don't know. I mean, D. James, you have grandkids. How much were Legos when your kids were kids? Because it's hard for me to imagine, because I wasn't paying for stuff when I was younger. Yeah, I'm imagining it costs much less. My daughter's got her like first friends from school birthday party. Well, second one. She had one when she was in preschool. She got invited to a birthday party tomorrow, and I'm still hung up on the fact that there are parents out there that find it socially acceptable to invite people over on a Sunday during football season for a birthday party and expect me to show up. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I am that guy. It's just wild. It's like this is the second party, and both parties are on Sundays, and the start time is 1:00, which is right when football starts. Which is, I can't imagine too many dads are showing up to that party. Yeah, Legos have really evolved in the last 20 years. It's not like, I feel like the sets are more complicated, and they're also more detailed. Whereas I felt back when I was a kid, there's a lot, like you didn't see as many of these like single pieces that you do now, like these like small pieces. You like see the larger ones, even like the two dot bricks, a lot more than you ever saw the small ones. But maybe I'm dating myself and I'm not that old. Well, I'm not that old to me. I'm old. Yeah, see, that's what it was. All the kids are awake now. Nap time is officially over. Can already hear my one daughter gearing up to run in here. Older than father time. Being serenaded by crying. It's yogurt time for that little one. For every parent out there knows the dread of like the end of nap time. Because you're moving from a period of almost complete silence to utter chaos. And that's just the way it is. I mean, you've got a kid, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, Andrew. Find some people, man. Feel free to invite people to the stream. Probably be live for another hour. And call it a day. Maybe go live again tonight. Do more of this build. Oh, the sound of Legos being dumped on the floor. Oh my God. I also love, like, they're in an age right now, my kids, when it's always the other kid's fault, no matter what it is. So now they're talking about a Snackers. What are they talking about? So, like I said, she's going to this kid's birthday party tomorrow. And somehow the girl's birthday gift that we bought her, one of them, is slightly opened now overnight. And it's a young girl's birthday party, so it's a gift for a young girl. And my daughter is trying to explain to my wife how it's my son's fault that he opened it. And he literally just got, has he even out a nap yet? Oh, yeah, he's still napping. So, you know, like I said, everything is the other kid's fault. This is one of the kids singing. Can you hear that? So that's my youngest daughter. She's 1.5, and she's just rampaging through stuff right now. Openly dumping. Yeah, so tunneling her way through Casa Doom. It's very on brand for the set. Slightly. You know, Charlotte, she'd probably be more happy if her gift wasn't slightly opened. That Chase is such a troublemaker. On to bag 6. Let's do this. You're on bag 3. How many bags do you have, Charlotte? Oh, you have, okay, so you're almost done then. Okay. Wait, you have 6 bags? Oh, 3 more to do. Okay. She's like, Mom, Chase opened it. I saw him. He did it. It's all his fault. You know, and as a kid, you're like, you remember your parents saying things like, when I was your age, or I've done this before, I was a kid before. And then you end up saying the exact same stuff to your kids, thinking you weren't going to do that. But it feels, it's really the only thing you can say. Like, because their version of you is only being this age, right? So they don't associate you with being a kid. Like, you haven't pulled some of these tricks before, especially if you grew up with siblings. It wasn't my fault. But seriously, you gotta like going back to the kids' birthday party thing. Like, I would never schedule a birthday party in the middle of football season on a Sunday to start at 1 o'clock. That thing needs to be wrapped up by 12:30 so people can get home. And it's like I was saying, it's the second one. My parents never played with plastic. They were molded by it and bound together in the darkness. Nah, our parents played with metal and wood toys, or so my father would like to tell me. Again, the back in my day, just like we were talking about Legos back in the day. Every now and then, I like out of the corner of my eyes see my youngest just walking around, chugging a bottle, grunting, laughing. Those are the fun times. Man, my dad is almost 70, right? Yeah, 70. Oh, yeah. No, I'm thinking of my mom. Yeah, 68, almost 68, 67. I don't know, man. After a while, you just stop counting them. You remember the dates. Age is relative. That was a solid guess, Andrew. Solid guess. Oh, he's on Wikipedia. Is there a section in there about Billy Strasser? My dad would know what I'm talking about. Also, another bonus to having your instructions electronic is that when you got to flip back, because there's like a 2x, 4x, whatever, multiple of the same multi-piece part that you just built, you can easily tab back versus trying to flip back. Oh my God. Too soon. Too soon. Yeah, I remember growing up and Dad would always talk about Larry, Larry Sample's mom and how she was ancient. And I was probably like 8 years old when he was saying that. And now she's passed away. God rest her soul. At 102 years old. I mean, at a certain point, right? Like, I mean, too old. Like, I don't want to live to be 102, man. Like, it's not going to be an enjoyable experience. So, she had a really long, great life. I heard nothing but holiest things about this lady. So, I'm sure she's in a much better place. The Lego frustration is setting in the other room if you can't hear it. Table flipping. Hmm. I'll probably be back on around 8 o'clock. I'm gonna wrap up here after this bag and kick it back off around 8. I'll put another scheduled. If you subscribe to the channel, if you haven't already, please do. There'll be. I'll put like a pre, like a scheduled live stream together, and that way you can see it and sign up for it, and it'll send you a reminder. Eight o'clock's just a sweet spot of when the kids go to bed. And then the dogs go crazy at that time. So that's another fun thing when you've got 3 dogs and 3 kids is once the kids calm down, the dogs get amped up. That's a pretty cool piece to the build. Doesn't make sense. Good grief. I'll tell you what, I'll miss having a kid this small at 1.5. But I'm also not going to miss having a new kid. 3 is enough. So it measures in almost at 3 feet tall. It's a pretty, if you can see the Avengers Tower behind me, it's about that tall. Or the Hogwarts. Not Hogwarts. The bank. Gringotts Bank from Hogwarts behind me. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely need more shelving. It won't go there because I don't want to block the light behind me. And I think problem is I have lightsabers too on display. And here's some like from Disney's Galaxy's Edge. So I'm gonna need probably another shelf in here, which I've talked about doing like a corner unit over there. There's just not enough room. And that's the problem with Legos is once you've accumulated enough of them, you run out of space. And then where do you go with them, you know? These sets, these like larger tower type, yeah, I need a bigger. I wish I had a bigger room. A full basement of Legos, but here in Florida there's not a lot of basements, so. But these like bigger ones that you build that are taller or buildings, you feel like you're actually building a building with the amount of bricks that you're putting on these things. You feel like you're like like an art or a contractor laying bricks down. Nice like spider there. All the small details with Legos nowadays. There are people like on TikTok that have massive Lego rooms in their basement, and even those guys, it's like some of those guys are out of room already in their basements, and because they've built like huge cities. Like somebody actually built a very large like Disney World Main Street type display, just in like actually more just all of Magic Kingdom, and he's completely out of room in his basement, and I'm sure his wife is a huge fan of that. Really cool though, a lot of effort went into that. I saw a video the other day of a guy that did like a large scale Pirates of the Caribbean ride build that he had done with actual water. So like and I mean the details on it are insane. Like to just the actual water piece is mind blowing. All right, so that piece slides into there and hangs off. So little spider pops out, which is pretty cool. So that's going to be it for now. I'm going to go ahead and schedule another live to keep building this tonight. I appreciate everybody that tuned in and all the chatter in the chat. Really appreciate it. If you didn't like, follow, subscribe, notify, everything around the board. I'll hope to see you later this evening. And again, thank you very much for tuning in and watching me build this Barad-Dur set. All right. So stay tuned for part 2. Thanks, everybody.